Hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück zu The Outer Worlds. Wir sind fast fertig hier mit allen Quests auf Whale. Weiß gar nicht, heißt der Planet jetzt Whale oder heißt der Emerald Whale? Irgendwie ein bisschen verwirrend. Aber so oder so, wir sind hier fast fertig mit den Quests, die wir zumindest bisher haben. Ich weiß nicht, ob da noch was kommt oder ob wir dann auf einem anderen Planeten dürfen. Schauen wir mal.
Look at that. The snake's come back. I never thought I'd see the day that Reed Thompson abandoned his post. Suppose we all have a breaking point. Suppose it's time our flock made our way back to Edgewater. We must tend to what remains of the town and carry on with our lives as best we may. You're vexing to me, you know? Injuring us with one hand, helping us with the other. Here, I'm giving you something to leave us be. It's a ransom, you understand, not a reward.
Ruf bei der Vorstand. Der Vorstand von Space's Choice, oder wie?
You telling me you did all this just to put me in charge of Edgewater? Stranger, you are some kind of twisted. I might turn that old cannery into a garden. Got ourselves a whole cemetery bursting with bodies. I need some time to gather my personals. Long walk back to Edgewater. Got a considerable burden to carry.
Okay, aber was ist jetzt meine Quest? Kehre zur Unreliable zurück. Achso, das war ja mein neues Schiff, oder? Der Schnellreise ist wirklich praktisch. Wo ist Pavati jetzt?
Is this your ship? Oh my stars, she is just so handsome. Does she have a name yet? What's her drive model? Oh, gosh. Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship, working on a real engine, belonging to a proper crew. I'm the only decent mechanic Edgewater's got, but every time I think of going back, I get this sinking feeling. I've worked on the occasional supply coach in need of repairs. Once I built a little model craft out of spare parts, but Mr. Thompson found out and I had to take it apart. I want to ask you something, and you can say no. But can I come with you? I could tend to your engine. I know my G-valves for my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing. And if you ever need a pair of eyes watching your back, I can do that too. What do you think?
Na, Logo.
Yes! I mean, thanks. You won't regret this, ma'am. Captain. I can call you Captain now. Ha! I got a captain.
Vielleicht treffen wir ja sogar unterwegs ihre Mutter. Das wäre ja was, ha? Wo ist die hin? Auf Terra 1? Ach, den habe ich schon wieder ganz vergessen.
Well, I certainly am looking forward to flying on a ship named the Unreliable. I'll just head upstairs and claim a room.
Ist natürlich auch witzig, wenn das Schiff Unreliable heißt. Also unzuverlässig.
Easy.
Also,
That was a good thing you did, Captain. Helping to bring the deserters and Edgewater folks back together. I hope you rest well on that. In the bar? When I asked if you were a drinker? Sorry. I know, it's none of my business. It's not like I think it a failing, mind. It's just I live right across the road. Most nights I watch folks out my window. When they come in here, they might be happy or sad. Mostly they're tired. When they leave, they're mad at themselves. Or they stumble into the alley and I listen to their hearts breaking.
na. Wieso geht das jetzt nicht?
There's been scary nights, but Constable Reyes is right up the road. She keeps an orderly town.
So, also, geht noch mit Ada.
Captain, I have detected that Edgewater's power supply is now optimal. I applaud your willingness to invest your time in the local community. What can I do for you, Captain? Do you know how to install a power regulator? Outstanding, Captain. Your aptitude for engineering will prove invaluable in the event of another catastrophic engine failure. Our engine room is located behind you, across the cargo bay, up the ladders.
Jo, da war ich ja schon. Aber die können sich ja noch gar keine Kabine aussuchen, oder? Solange der Strom noch nicht aktiviert ist. Okay. Das war halt gerade mal die erste Story-Mission, oder? Eigentlich schon krass. Wenn man da mal so drüber nachdenkt. Ich will jetzt nicht einfach runterhüpfen.
What can I do for you, Captain? All systems are operating within acceptable parameters. I am prepared to bring the unreliable into low-altitude orbit. This should prove an adequate test of our flight capabilities.
So. Jetzt kommen wir bei unserem Weltraumabenteuer endlich mal in den Weltraum.
We have received a communication request from Dr. Phineas Wells.
Aha, there you are. Hale and hearty, and captain of your own ship. I see you're putting the unreliable to good use. Shame about her former captain. Horrible way to die. How are you feeling, by the way? I lost track of you in that cave back there. Experiencing any, unnatural drippage? Perfectly normal side effect of thawing, I assure you. Oh, that, yes, that's probably permanent. I wouldn't worry about it, though. I'm sure you're fine. What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and basic necessities. We're dying. The chairman, the minister, and all their lackeys on the board are to blame. The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, they can help us undo the board's mistakes. They can help us set things right. You need to get to Stellar Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help me, help us, find the chemicals to revive your fellow colonists. Gladys Kelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit on the Groundbreaker. She can get you a nav key to land on Stellar Bay. Strictly speaking, Monarch is a moon, terraformed badly, and almost completely lawless. You'll love it. Captains don't fly their own ships, you see. Your navigation terminal handles the, navigation. Think of a nav key as a set of flight instructions. The board's been confiscating nav keys for Stellar Bay, so we must rely on unconventional means of acquisition. Hence, Miss Gladys Kelly. Without a skip drive, good luck. You'll be dead before you make it to the nearest star. Look, I admire your optimism, but the sad truth is you're stuck here. You, me, and the rest of this colony. We're all skating precariously around the edge of oblivion together. None of us are leaving Halcyon alive, so we may as well make it a better place, and we can start by reviving the Hope. Gladys and I have been doing business for years. Her smuggling credentials are unimpeachable. If anyone can get you a key to Monarch, it's her. In theory, I suppose you could land your ship in Cascadia, and in theory, I suppose you might survive the experience. Cascadia is utterly seething with dangerous, highly aggressive creatures more than capable of tearing you limb from limb. You'd have to be a lunatic to land in Cascadia, and I'm reasonably certain I tested your brain for incipient signs of insanity. Trust me, talk to Gladys Culkelly.
Okay.
Excellent. I'll send her a wireless. Let her know you're coming. By the way, I gave Captain Hawthorne a disguise apparatus of my own design, cutting-edge technology years ahead of its time. I call it the holographic shroud. I'm sure it will prove remarkably useful to you. You'll find it in the captain's quarters. Excellent. I'll contact you once you've found a way to get to Stellar Bay. If you have any questions, come see me in my lab. And remember, don't trust the board. They'll try to win you over with promises of wealth and power, but it's a lie. The board's only interested in filling their own pockets. If we don't put a stop to them, they're going to run this colony to the ground.
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart, please select a destination on your navigation terminal.
Okay. Ja, dann holen wir mal das Holo-Modul. Ah, ist jetzt hier Zeug nachgefüllt oder so? Was zum Plündern? Nee. Parvati?
Yeah, so this is my hidey spot now. I was looking for a place that was quiet. I figured the kitchen would be louder than the hold, so here I am. Cozy-like, ain't it? That's in pretty good shape considering how hard Mr. Hawthorne ran it. It's a Yakita LHA 120, A2 model, I'm pretty sure. The Block 2 design scooshed in extra cargo space but didn't change the stock engines. Probably a touch underpowered, huh?
Accurate in all particulars. I conclude you are Edgewater's board-certified mechanic. Your user preferences have been updated, Captain. In the event we are about to crash into an asteroid, I will remain silent.
Hello! I am not a board-certified mechanic, but my dad was. He taught me all he knew. Do you understand?
Speech recognition is one of the many skills I have been programmed to simulate.
You're not simulating it, you're doing it! I asked a question and you answered it.
I am gratified you consider this facsimile convincing.
I don't see any holes in the hull. I'll take a good squint at her, make sure everything's tip-top. But I think we're cooking with plasma torches. You can do that, you know. My dad taught me how to make grilled cheese sandwiches with a plasma torch. Mostly, yeah. I lived in the maintenance office near all my life. Mr. Thompson never let me forget how funny that was. Except for my schooling years, I was always beside him. Or tied to him. He used to carry me about in a sling when I was real little. When I got older, he set me to sorting tools and parts while he worked. Later, he taught me simple fixes like busted crate latches. Not on the regular. Once in a great long while, a Saltuna boat would break down on the pad. He'd always bring me along for those. Mostly, he did the same as me. Kept Bess, the cannery, running. Turned loaders, plumbing and electricity, some plastering. I never got the hang of that. He meant funny as in odd. It's not normal for anyone to do as their parents. You take a vocational test. That decides your schooling and your career. When I tested out for maintenance, everyone figured it was on account of my dad. They were real unhappy with us. Well, I'm good at making things work the way they ought. Not so much at doing such to somebody else's schedule. There's times I'm working deep in the guts of a loader, getting it all running perfect. Then I look up to see it's tomorrow and I've blown another deadline. Anyhow, I was happy to get back home. I didn't care much for schooling. Oh, there were a whole lot of reading, not nearly enough doing. Like, before they'd issue you a wrench, they wanted an essay on the design of different wrenches. Then there'd be quizzes on company regulations for storage and maintenance of wrenches. As soon as I got permission, I spent all my time in the machine shop. They had all manner of parts, but they didn't want me using them, so I had to sneak them sometimes. I even slept in there. Had a hammock tied up in the rafters. Before I left, I installed a little skylight for myself, so I could see the stars. When an engine came in, I'd strip it down and rebuild it. I mostly built for myself. Custom tools, little mechanical critters to talk to. When my roommates tried to talk, I'd get so nervous I'd be drenched in sweat. It was easier for everybody when I stayed off on my own. I doubt any of them remember me now. Yep, nothing much had changed. Everything was a little grayer, a little dirtier. Dad met me at the shuttle and gave me a big ol' hug. I noticed straight away that he was moving slower and stiffer. He made a little grunt when I squeezed. About a year. I tried to do more of the work so he could rest. His heart gave him pains. Dad never said that he loved me, you know? I knew on account of him showing it. How he'd stay up late to help with my projects or listen to my fretting. Oh gosh. Look at the time. Sorry to bend your ears so long. And I got so much to do before this ship's in decent shape.
Ich glaube, es ist an der Zeit, dass du weiterziehst. Das heißt, ich schmeiße hier aus der Crew, oder? Will ich jetzt mal lieber nicht nehmen, die Option. So, ich will erstmal hier hoch. Edgewater. Adlets Deserteure träumten von einem Leben in Unabhängigkeit, ohne vom Vorstand kontrolliert zu werden. Du hast ihnen eine wichtige Lektion erteilt. Niemals träumen. Joa, war jetzt nicht so unbedingt meine Intention. Der Holomantel projiziert eine Verkleidung, die dir und deinen Begleitern Zugang auf Sperrgebiete gibt, sofern du dafür über ein passendes Ausweismodul verfügst. Sperrgebiete sind ansonsten für nicht autorisierte Personen nicht zu betreten. Zuwiderhandlung wird mit Waffengewalt vergolten. Terminal. Uiuiuiui. Oh, ich habe bei meiner letzten Nachricht noch etwas vergessen. Ich schussel. Ich schicke dir noch eine Kopie meiner Lieblingsserie, die Weltraumabenteuer von Singularity Steel. Da geht es um einen verwegenen Weltraumpiraten mit einem Herz aus, naja, Stahl. Der Vorstand hat sie nicht wirklich abgesegnet, also zeig sie besser nicht deinen Spacer-Kumpels. Sie wird dir hoffentlich auf deinem Weg zum nächsten Abenteuer ein paar schöne Stunden bescheren. Ähnlichkeit mit einer gewissen Person sind absolut gewollt. Oh Gott. Notiz an mich, nicht vergessen. Nein, noch besser, Ada, erinnere mich wöchentlich an dieses Protokoll, bis ich dich bitte, es zu unterlassen. Ja, damit meine ich fortlaufend. Nein, Ada, nicht, wenn ich tot bin. Was ist das für eine dämliche Frage? Wie dem auch sei. Ich habe mit eigenen Augen eine beeindruckend mächtige Waffe in Wells Labor gesehen. Die könnte ich mir ja einstecken, wenn der alte Kauz mal wegschaut oder sie vielleicht einfach vergisst. Vielleicht müsste ich auch bloß ein wenig netter fragen. Er nennt sie einen Schrumpfstrahler. Aber er hat sie mich nicht testen lassen, nachdem ich etwas ungehalten wurde. Er sagte, er habe sich von den Erfolgen anderer Wissenschaftler inspirieren lassen, die die Grenzen des menschlichen Wissens und der ethischen Maßstäbe vor ihm gesprengt haben. Ich habe Gerüchte von derart sagenumwobenen Waffen gehört. Waffen, deren Möglichkeiten sich jenseits des Verstandes und der Wissenschaft erstrecken. Doch ich habe nie geglaubt, dass es sie wirklich gibt. Nachdem ich aber Wells Schrumpfstrahler mit eigenen Augen gesehen habe, muss ich mich fragen, ob nicht doch vielleicht mehr dahinter steckt. Das letzte Mal, dass ich mich richtig besoffen, ich meine ein paar Drinks in der Lost Hope auf der Groundbreaker genossen habe, okay, Udo war sehr großzügig mit den Getränken, es scheint in Ordnung zu sein, habe ich ein paar Mardets über irgendeinen Irrenwissenschaftler schwadronieren hören, der vor ein paar Jahren behauptet haben soll, eine gewaltige Entdeckung gemacht zu haben, die die gesamte Kolonie auf den Kopf stellen könnte. Die alte Leier eben. Aber hier kommt der gute Teil. Den Mardets zufolge hat der gute Wissenschaftler die ganze Zeit über von der Macht des Hammers oder so etwas gesprochen. Eine obskure, von einem wahnsinnigen Wissenschaftler erfundene Waffe mit einer geheimen Kraft? Das kommt mir bekannt vor. Es könnte eine weitere der Waffen sein, die Wells inspiriert haben. Warum? Warum? Warum gibt Wells mir nicht einfach den Schrumpfstrahler? Möge er auf alle Zeit im Labyrinth auf Tartarus versauern. Ich möchte anmerken, dass ich mich bei ihm für meinen Ausbruch entschuldigt habe. Meine 5 Ausbrüche. Aber beim Architekten nochmal. Die Waffe liegt nur da rum und setzt Staub an. Ich hätte sie einfach nehmen und mich bei ihm bedanken sollen, ohne vorher um Erlaubnis zu fragen oder teure Geräte zu zertrümmern. Als er mir sagte, sie sei noch nicht bereit und selbst wenn sie es wäre, würde es sie meinesgleichen nicht anvertrauen. Was soll das überhaupt bedeuten? Bin ich nicht vertrauenswürdig genug? Glaubt er, ich würde all die aufrechten und fleißigen Kolonisten einfach ausmerzen, wie so ein kompletter Psychopath? Ich gebe zu, fragwürdige Kontakte zu pflegen, aber ich folge meinem ganz eigenen, strikten Code. Was gibt es daran nicht zu respektieren? Nichts, genau. Jetzt muss ich warten, bis Wells die Waffe vergisst oder glaubt, sie verlegt zu haben. In der Zwischenzeit spüre ich weitere Gerüchte über diese sogenannten Wissenschaftswaffen in ganz Halcyon nach. Wenn die Gerüchte stimmen, führt meine Spur zu den Schwarzmarkthändlern auf der Groundbreaker und in Fallbrook. Okay. Wissenschaftswaffen. Oh, was ist das? Sam. Okay. Die ist scheinbar noch deaktiviert oder so. Ein streng aussehender älterer Mann mit warmen Augen. Voll mit modifizierten Werkzeugen von vermutlich einmaligem mechanischen Nutzen. Um bis hierhin reinzugreifen, kostet vermutlich ein oder mehrere Finger. Das Buch hat etliche Eselsohren und Kritzeleien an den Rändern. Eigentlich nicht so nett, seine Crew zu beklauen. Der erste Schraubenschlüssel, den mir Dad je gab. Eine echte Freundin in jeder Not. Abigail. Boah, kann man machen, ne? Diese Lehrbücher sind seit mindestens einem halben Jahrhundert vergriffen. Die Ränder sind voll von hingekritzelten Notizen und etliche Passagen wurden unterstrichen. Die Klebebindung hat die Zeit nicht gut überstanden. Einige Seiten sind lose und der Buchrücken bricht langsam auseinander. Die Kritzeleien dieser Tagebuchseiten sind völlig unleserlich für alle, die nicht Vicar Maximilian de Soto heißen. Teil 1. Verschiedene Abwägungen zur Qualifikation. Teil 2. Grundlegende Regeln restriktiver Verwaltung. Teil 3. Ethik und Maximen des Verbots unethischer Literatur. Teil 4. Beweis des gelobten Architekten und Vorherbestimmungen. Eine Ablehnung eben jener Werke. Teil 5. Konsequenzen. Der Geist und der Wille des verführten Menschen. Teil 6. Offizielle Liste verbotener Werke. Teil 7. Voraussetzungen für die Betreibung von Ermittlung, Denunziation und Bestrafung von Zuwiderhandeln. Riecht verdächtig nach gealtertem Iceberg Whisky. Irgendwie habe ich wenig Lust mit ihm zu quatschen. Neuwertig. Die meisten Karten stellen Spieler der Hephaestus Hammers und der Tilebackers dar. Kunst und Wissenschaft des Wurfball. Kann man nicht aus der Hand legen. Orden des wissenschaftlichen Diskurses, literarische Abteilung. Diese Empfehlung wurde akzeptiert. Auntie Cleo Darlings. Signiert durch Seymour Whitlock, der den Rekord für die meisten Todesfälle auf dem Spielfeld für 3 Saisons in Folge hielt.
As always, I am at your disposal. Anything you'd like to discuss? Nothing too out of the ordinary. Just your run-of-the-mill vicar with a violently enthusiastic disposition. That's what my parents called it. I grew up in a pit of a town much like Edgewater. I was destined to be a laborer like my parents, but I was infected early with a need to solve the equation. My passion didn't sit well with them. My parents, ironically. They internalized the precepts of scientism like no one I've ever known. They had a pure faith, a faith that brought joy to them regardless of the situation. I envied that. I wanted that peace. I thought if I became a vicar, I could find it. Or at the very least, find out why I lacked it. They thought I was fighting the plan, should have accepted my lot. Some people pursue the clergy for power, prestige, but that was not me. The plan is not one rigid path. There are a variety of multitudes contained within it. Our paths have variance, but we'll end up adhering to it, whether we like it or not. Some choices make the path smoother, some rougher. You can even go outside the lines, but the further outside you go, it's like an unbreakable elastic band. It will only stretch so far before it snaps back. The further it is stretched, the more violent the eventual correction. I have run headlong into too many walls in my pursuit of the truth. This book is my last hope, and you were my only hope of getting it translated. I've been called that more than once. What about you? What's your story? And how did he do that? Well, you do seem different than every other colonist. Let's pretend for the moment I believe you. What are you going to do now? That seems a dangerous proposition. Why risk your life now that it's been returned to you? A commendable attitude. Bakonu, the author, had some interesting theories about man's perception of reality that I thought could be applied to our attempts to decipher the plan. Unfortunately, he was also one of the founders of the philosophist school of thought, so the book is banned in this colony. Philosophism's a false religion that stands in contradiction to almost everything we know to be true. They believe all is chaos, in stark contrast to OSI's belief in the plan. But most of the philosophist perversion of Bakonu's thoughts came more than a century after his death. I've been thinking on that. There's a former infamous philosophist scholar who fled Terra some years ago. He's an expert on Bakonu. He's also who told me of the journal's presence in Emerald Vale. If anyone in this colony could translate that book, it would be him. Oh, I'm anything but certain. But it's all I've got at the moment. We should start on the Groundbreaker. It's where I'd go if I wanted to get off Terra 2. Great place to pick up a ride to Hephaestus, Scylla, even Monarch. All I need is access to a data cartridge from the security terminal. Their easily hackable system keeps a registry of all crew manifests for both arrivals and departures. I'll comb the last 6 months of departure manifests to track the Philosophist's off-world destination. Before I transferred to Edgewater, I had a wealth of time to develop certain, secular skills during my years serving a particular penitentiary flock. I meditated, led sermons, provided guidance to the inmates as needed, of course. I also played prison yard tossball and taught myself a bit about computronic security systems. Thank you, Captain.
Okay. Dann schauen wir noch in die anderen Räume, aber da wird ja jetzt noch nichts sein, weil uns da noch die Crewmember fehlen. Aber das heißt, wir könnten noch locker 2, 3 Leute dazu bekommen. Was dich nicht umbringt, gibt dir Tetanus. Okay. Gut, dann gehen wir jetzt mal zu Ada zurück. Fragen die wegen Sam. Ah, ne, Quatsch. Willkommen auf der Systemkarte. Hier kannst du alle Planeten des Systems sehen und dazu noch ein paar relevante Orte, die du womöglich entdeckt hast. Du kannst ein Schiff sehen. Okay.
Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance? The unit is a cleaning SAM. Hawthorne brought it on board some cycles ago, I'm sure with the intent to modify it, but I've never seen it up and running. Alex likely recorded progress notes detailing his efforts to modify SAM. If you check the terminal in your captain's quarters, we may be able to determine what work remains in order for SAM to properly operate.
Oh Mann.
What part of the colony would you like to discuss? Ah, yes. As Dr. Wells is a wanted outlaw, he built his laboratory into an asteroid. Orbital destinations can be challenging to land on. His more so than most. There is a bounty on his head, one with a markedly high reward amount. Shall I engage the laser weapons system? A sensible choice, as we do not have any
Wow.
laser weapons. The outlaw scientist known as Dr. Phineas V. Wells has taken a measure of precautions to make the lab undetectable to those hunting him. Even knowing the location, my systems resist my orders to go where I instruct them. Of course. What part of the colony would you like to discuss? We're cleared to dock with the groundbreaker if that's your desired destination. If we're going there, please be sure all docking forms have been filed in triplicate and fees have been paid. The Mardettes take their docking laws quite seriously. I can, yes. Let me add that to my list of 1,435,498 tasks I am simultaneously executing in order to run our ship. You are more than welcome, Captain. The Groundbreaker was Halcyon's original colony ship. It has since been repurposed as a service station in the Lagrange point of the system. Freighters often deliver or pick up goods from the Groundbreaker en route to other destinations. The city ship hosts an array of cargo bays, factories, housing sections, and more. Many of Halcyon's companies maintain office spaces with stationed representatives in what is considered a truly neutral territory within the system. I have filed the required docking forms in triplicate, and fees have been paid. Of course. What part of the colony? Where in Terra 2? Edgewater is the sparkling county seat of Emerald Vale, or it was when first built. Since then, neglect and time have worn away her shiny veneer. The town is near the coordinates where Captain Hawthorne died. It would not be unfortunate if something, like say a plague, were to wipe Emerald Vale from the face of the planet. You mean the ones who did not answer my distress call with medical assistance, but instead came to issue my injured captain a parking ticket? I'm sure they are wonderful humans who don't deserve to be wiped out by starvation or a devastating plague. Since you diverted power to Edgewater, the botanical lab shut down, and the deserters were forced to return to town. Meanwhile, the cannery's output increased, enabling the town's population to prosper. Thank you for nothing, Captain. I cannot say. First, I need to adjust my memory interpretation sensors, but I think my answer is yes.
Wow.
I'll be here.
Gut, dann können wir jetzt nochmal zu dem Terminal gehen. Ein Hin und Her hier gerade. Suchbegriff Sam. Denk dran, du hast bei deinem letzten Job einen ausrangierten Reinigungs- und Wartungsroboter auf dem Schrottplatz in Emerald Vale gefunden. Es sollte kein großes Problem sein, den wieder in Betrieb zu nehmen. Mit ein paar wenigen, aber bedeutenden Modifikationen kann ich mir sogar eine kampffähige Variante vorstellen. Man könnte quasi von einer höchst effizienten Säuberungsmaschine sprechen. Das könnte lustig werden. Entfernung des Werkteils. Seifenreiniger erfolgreich. Lieferung des für den Kampf modifizierten Ersatzteils Säurereiniger verzögert. Projektverzug ist auf 3 Monate geschätzt. Ich habe sonst nichts Wichtiges zu tun. Oh, halt, stimmt ja gar nicht. Ich glaube, die Lieferung kommt nicht mehr. Das Teil ist im Prinzip verloren gegangen und wird so bald nicht hier eintreffen. Aber es gibt auch gute Neuigkeiten. Ich habe von einem Typen gehört, der ein Mädel kennt, die den Händler kennt, der weiß, wo ich einen Säurereiniger mitgehen lassen kann. Und der mir für die Info viel zu viel Kohle abgeknüpft hat. Das Teil wurde an eine alte Lagereinrichtung in Roseway geschickt. Werde gedacht, dass ich mal in das Drecksloch zurückkehre. Zum Glück ist Auntie Cleo schon seit Jahren da raus. Ich muss mir nach dem nächsten erneuten Halt in Emerald Vale. Wells will, dass ich irgendeine wichtige Person begleite. Details folgen später. Okay. Jetzt haben wir wahrscheinlich noch ein Ziel auf der Karte. Mal gucken, wo wir jetzt hingehen. So. Also hier. Achso. Typhoon, Olympus, Monarch. Inaktiven. Was ist hier? Waffen aus der endlosen Leere. Aber müsste ich nicht mehr Quests haben? Gehen wir doch erstmal dahin, oder? So.
We have successfully arrived at Phineas's orbital lab, Captain, and we are still in one piece. Shall I congratulate myself, or would you like to do the honors?
So, nehmen wir natürlich sie mit. Ach, man kann sogar 2 mitnehmen. Nun denn. So, dann nehmen wir doch erstmal die. So, ist nix.
Hello? Can you hear me? Does this work? Oh, damn it. Blast, that's loud.
Und nu? Oh. So, wieder ein Level Up. So, aber wenn ich jetzt das verbessere, steigert es dann das trotzdem noch? Nee. Das ist ja doof. Naja. So. Taktische Zeitdilatation. Hm. Nun gut. Dann auf zu Phineas.
I'm just securing my ongoing experiments. And securing myself. Mind the mess. I haven't had a visitor since... in fact, I've never had a visitor.
So ein bisschen traurig, oder? Nachrichten. Hacken, überbrücken. Yes. Ich habe es geschafft. Details folgen später. Ergebnisreproduktion wird schwierig. Brauche deine Hilfe. Alle erforderlichen Materialien sollten in Halcyon zu finden sein, aber Standorte sind mir nicht bekannt. Habe einen neuen Partner nach Terra 2 geschickt, in die Nähe von Edgewater. Sie ist an meiner Unternehmung beteiligt, aber Vertrauen meinerseits ist nur bei etwa 23,7%. Im Moment, sie birgt gerade ein Schiff, sollte bald hier sein. Muss nur wissen, wohin ich sie schicken soll. Gib Bescheid, wenn du das erhalten hast. Wird endlich fertig werden. Ja, waren noch nicht 2 Nachrichten? Na gut. Zerflossenes Schwein aufwischen. Blah. Besiegelt? Hat er Angst vor uns? Diesmal auf jeden Fall dran denken. Absolut wichtig. 14, 14, 14. Wissenschaftswaffen. Wissenschaftswaffen sind einzigartige Waffen mit Effekten, die ebenso mächtig wie schräg sind. Sowohl der Schaden als auch die Effekte der Wissenschaftswaffen erhöhen sich zusammen mit einer Wissenschaftsfertigkeit.
Aha! I see you found my portable molecular compression device, better known as a shrink ray. Find a target, point, shoot. Your target will shrink down into a manageable size, whereupon you may commence beating them to a pulp.
Okay, das klingt ziemlich fett. Und du brauchst schwere Munition.
Feel free to try it on a marauder sometime.
Das ist aber bloß sehr kurz dann. Klein. Seltsamer Körper im SK-System. Leiter kaufen. Kann ich mit den Postern dann mein Schiff dekorieren, oder? Eieiei. Hebe Kerntemperatur weitere 5 Grad über eine Stunde. Dosierung scheint zu funktionieren. Leichte Differenzen zum Prozess bei Zystenschwein im Toleranzbereich. Mikroskopische Analyse zeigt keine Anzeichen von traumatischem Zellwandkollaps. Vielversprechend. Erinnerung, Schwein aufwischen. Blablabla. Ah, viel zu viel Text. Keine Lust. Könnt ihr gerne meckern, wenn es euch stört. Schockgefrorene organische Materie nimmt wieder ihre ursprüngliche Zellstruktur an, wenn man sie mit einer Dimethylsulfoxid-Tinktur behandelt. Quote des explosiven Zelltods bei 6%. Ein äußerst solider Wert. Schlechte Nachrichten, schwierige Akquise. Begrenzte Menge des Gemischs vermutlich produziert von Anticlio. Kurzum eingestellt wegen extrem negativer Reaktion. Muss mehr davon finden. Künstliche Stase erfolgreich bei Zystenschwein-Testobjekt herbeigeführt. Wiederbelebungsvorgang gestaltet sich kompliziert. Zystenschweingewebe wieder in lebendigem Zustand versetzt. Gehirnmasse durch rasche Nukleierung in Mitleidenschaft gezogen. Beginne mit Behandlung. Behandlung zeigt Fortschritte. Behandlung gescheitert. Gehirnmasse durch raschen Beginn der Nekrotisierung irreparabel beschädigt. Explosiver Zelltod. Verflüssigte Überreste des Zystenschweins endlich aufgewischt. Boden, Wände und Geräte im Labor wieder sauber. Frisch von Anticlio. Experimente mit Spacer's Choice. Teilemulgiertem Getränke-Weißersatz. Gott. Mischvorgang abgeschlossen. Füge 2 Unzen Spacer's Choice hinzu. Grauenhaft. Ein Teil von mir ist innerlich gestorben. Erinnerung Spacer's Choice auf die Liste setzen. Notiz an mich, Nummer 2. Mehr Mundwasser kaufen. Aber eines meiner Versuchszystenschweine verschont, damit es als erneuerbare Nahrungsressource verwendet werden kann. Aber dieses Glücksschwein Bubbles getauft. Einem Tier einen Namen zu geben, stellt ein gutes Verhältnis her und schafft eine positive emotionale Bindung. Soll angeblich auch den Geschmack der Tumore verbessern. Das muss ich genauer studieren. Hervorragende Wesen, diese Zystenschweine. Ich weiß nicht, wie die Menschheit ohne dieses genetische Wunder aus saftigem Schweinefleisch überlebt hat. Es ist wohl an Barbarei kaum zu übertreffen, dass man ein Schwein des Fleisches wegen schlachtet. obwohl man die natürlich reifenden Tumore ähnlich zu vom Baum geplumpsten Pseudoäpfeln ernten könnte. Ein wahres Wunder der modernen Wissenschaft. Konnte Dienste eines gewissen Captain Alex Hawthorne von der Unreliable erwerben. Ich hoffe, er hat sein Schiff nicht nach der Qualität seiner Dienstleistungen benannt. Ich werde meinen neuen Komplizen per Rettungskapsel zu Hawthorne schicken, sobald der Wiederbelebungsvorgang abgeschlossen ist. Hawthorne sollte ein umgänglicher Begleiter sein, oder zumindest ein umgänglicher Aufpasser. Wenn das Gesetz mir gnädig ist, ist er zumindest kein kompletter Vollidiot. Joa. Vielleicht kein kompletter Vollidiot, aber viel fehlen dürfte ja nicht, nachdem er sich unter die Stelle gestellt hat, wo das Shuttle notlanden sollte.
Oh, thank the law. Your skin hasn't spontaneously changed color. Potential side effect of the revival process. Very rare, but you never know. Right. Welcome to my little habitation, such as it is. I've got caffeinoids, cysty bits, if you're into that sort of thing. So, welcome. Make yourself at home. My secret hideout is your secret hideout. Not at all, my intrepid accomplice. I should thank you for tolerating my somewhat brusque manner. I only regret that I couldn't save more of your fellow settlers, what with being hunted by the board, and emptying my supply of necessary chemicals. Of course. What's on your mind? Oh, it's not you. I do experiments in that room. Some of them get quite scientific. The unexpected is to be treasured, but from a safe distance. Regardless, it's quite comfortable in here, you know. I have my beans, have my caffeinoids, plenty of toilet paper. Absolutely. Let's talk. No, and I've been trying very hard to avoid making eye contact.
Ah, the wanted criminal himself. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Wait, not another word. I don't want to know your name. I don't want to know who you are. Let's just enjoy our plausible deniability while it lasts, shall we? Why don't you just invite the entire colony to my secret, carefully concealed laboratory? It isn't as if I wanted privacy. Oh, very well. I can be a little cantankerous when I haven't had my caffeinoids. You have my apologies, and so forth. For what it's worth, I am pleased that you found a crew, such as they are. You're a talented scientist, after all. Our kind has always been incredibly popular. Yes, indeed. Well done. Also, you still haven't spontaneously liquefied, which pleases me immensely. Progress. What's on your mind?
Okay, sind wir hier fertig. Dann auf zur Groundbreaker 2, oder wie die hieß? Ne, nur Groundbreaker, oder? Die 2 war Terra 2. Ja, die Folge ist auch schon wieder fast rum. Das ist unfassbar, wie schnell das geht. Ich werde dann auf jeden Fall gleich mal Spielpause machen. Mich auf meinem Balkon in die Hängematte legen. Ein bisschen sonnen.
The groundbreaker has approved our request for docking, Captain. You're free to disembark.
Hey, Cap. Can we talk? Hey, Captain. I heard that Groundbreaker's got a real good engineer. A lady named Junlei Tennyson. I was thinking that maybe I ought to meet her. If you got time to swing us by, I mean. I don't got much experience fixing actual spaceships. I bet you a can of Borston beans she could teach me all manner of stuff. Thanks, Captain. I'll be sure to make it worth your time. Did you want to talk about something else?
Nope.
Please avoid damaging yourself or...
Jane Elson. Oh. Da ist ja Loot. War ich mir kurz nicht sicher, ob das jemand sieht.
Just checking your ship's manifest.
Captain. Hey, Captain. I'm in space. I never thought I'd be able to say that.
That's not the point. This half would just...
Hey, no offense, but I don't think this walking Saltunican's gonna appreciate you interrupting.
Keep talking, Millstone. See what happens. Now's not a good time. I'm dealing with a problem here.
So, go space yourself. Problem solved.
You must really want a truncheon through your teeth. Do what you want. I'm done here.
Whatever you heard, it's all true. I had this foreman, right? Guy never liked me, always trying to get a rise out of me. But I keep my chin up, right? Be the bigger man, I tell myself. He's a Spacer's chosen man, though. So when the Chosen beat my Rangers the other night, my foreman comes swaggering up with his head full of boasting. That's when I broadsided him with a tossball stick. Yeah. Look, this was a long time coming. Guy thinks he can push me around because he's some sky-high foreman, and I'm just a back bay's dock worker. Well, former dock worker. Guess I just tendered my resignation. Enjoy my freedom. Scrounged together enough bits for a 0G. Other than that, can't say as I do. Hey, not for nothing, but I saw you wander out of that ship over there by the dock. Wouldn't happen to be yours, would it? Captain of the Unreliable. You're like something out of a serial drama. Hey, I don't want to talk your ears off, guessing you got places to be. I appreciate your time. Oh, not at all. Just, you know, gonna figure out what to do next. See you around, boss.
Boah. Rückarbeiter. Hat keiner mitgekriegt. Oh nein, das war jetzt so viel, dass es Übergewicht gibt. Wie läuft denn das jetzt hier? Der hat aber... Schockstab. Moment, Stufe 1. Ich weiß nicht, die Funkeln, dann lasse ich mal übrig. Also die hebe ich auf. Sechs und Tech-Fertigkeit. Goodbye. Wie viel hast du nochmal? 9. Okay, das ist derselbige. Dreier braucht man nicht. 17. Ja, das ist natürlich schon geil.
Hey, that's company
Ah, shit.
property.
Notiert.
Quietly now.
Customs. Das ist der Zoll.
Just arrived? Head over to customs. Wheeler needs to process you.
Ah, hier gibt's wieder Kopfgelder. Schauen wir doch mal auf die Karte. Okay, wir haben 3 Begleiteraufträge und einen Nebenauftrag.
Customs and inspection.
Jetzt nervt mich tierisch. Wieso geht das nicht? Zugangsbeschränkte Ware.
Right this way.
Muss ich dann erst irgendwie meine Popularität steigern oder sowas? Guck mal noch, was da unten ist. Nicht, dass hier noch was Cooles rumliegt oder so. So, dann ist die Folge auch schon wieder rum. Ja. Hey, kann man so den Zoll umgehen? Oh, taktische Schrotflinte. Ui. Da ist nichts mehr. Da wird auch nichts mehr sein, aber hier könnten wir jetzt noch runter. Autsch. Servus. Wir waren schon offiziell hier. Hier gar nicht eingebrochen.
The other day, it was coming from
Ein Auftrag für dich ins Sperrgebiet. Entdeckt man dich dort, wirst du sofort angegriffen mit einer Verkleidung. Kannst du feindliche Infos aus dem Weg gehen.
This is it. Security. I can check the departures registry to find out which crew the scholar shipped in and out with.
No, seriously. There was a lot of static
Ja,
at first, but then this voice.
was ist jetzt das
said his
Problem?
name was Graham?
Graham, right.
Identification, please. Captain Hawthorne, you said. Let me apologize in advance. I'm about to ruin your day. According to your ship's record, you've been flagged by the board. Your ship will be impounded until such a time as they see fit to lift it.
But we've hardly been out of Edgewater long enough to get in trouble.
Well, isn't this wonderful? The captain's done something to get on the board's bad side.
Now, hold on. This isn't the end of the world. Probably. You'll want to take it up with Udom Bedford, our board representative here on Groundbreaker. His office is located along the starboard wall of the promenade. Shines like a Byzantium commode. You can't miss it. Access to that information is above my pay grade, and I've turned down 3 promotions, so it stays that way. I shouldn't be mentioning it, but what the hell? This here, impounding your ship, it doesn't happen much. The board knows we don't take kindly to their interfering in our operations. If I had to take a guess as to why, you must have riled up someone important. You take the starch out of them, well, you won't hear any complaints from me. Oh, and if you're headed that way, would you mind doing me a favor? Wanda Dorset over in sickbay, tell her the shipment's not in yet. It's not coming in anytime soon, and if she'd be so obliged to get off my ass about it. Much appreciated. Is there anything else I can help you with? The fence. You'll find her in the rest and go, on your left when you enter the promenade. Make sure you bring an empty belly. Most places are on the promenade deck. Big door yonder, straight through security. There's a bar on the starboard side. I got a preference for the Lost Hope myself. Talk to Vera. She'll set you right. You need anything else? You let me know. Don't want anyone saying Groundbreaker's not the most hospitable port in the colony. Maybe. Most of the shipping traffic in the system passes through Groundbreaker. Every couple of months, we even get a big interstellar freighter. Two biggest operations are the board. That is, Halcyon Holdings and Sublight Salvage. But there are independent operators around the promenade deck. Most of those jobs are going to take you off station, though. Commandant Sanita might have a couple of folks she needs killed. Bad folks, I mean. Not regular folks. She'll be at the security desk behind me. Chief Junlei might have an errand needs running. She's all tied up trying to fix our heat problem. You'll find her in engineering.
No kidding? I'd love to get a look at this old girl's innards. I bet they're real twisty and weird. In a good way.
Happy to help. That's my job, after all.
You're real good at it, too.
Well, thank you, miss. It's nice to be recognized. Yep.
Can we move this along? I have a certain, matter I'd like to attend to, Captain.
Are you pulling my leg? Goes like this. Back on Earth, before the crossing, the powers that be were selling off stakes in distant star systems they thought had potential. A bunch of companies decided to throw in together and form the Halcyon Holdings Corporation, then buy up the rights to this here colony. That group's what we now call the Board. Yep, Groundbreaker's the only real independent port. Aside from us, there's just tramp freighters and wildcat miners. Seems like every year the Board's offices get bigger and their ships take up more of the landing bays. Haven't seen nearly as many tramp crews this year. Groundbreaker was one of the original colony vessels to come over on the crossing, a few years before her sister ship, the Hope. Once everybody'd been de-thawed and dropped dirtside, the original crew of the Groundbreaker decided they rather liked the spacefaring life. I guess that was the start of our independent spirit. Now, here we are. Sitting around drinking whiskey and smoking cigars, yeah, probably. Can't say for sure, of course. Doubt I'll ever see the inside of it myself. Glad to help. Relative to the Board holdings? Not really. But there's a few with the means to go where they will. They aren't rich, but they aren't likely to look too close at your work history either. They strip the parts from derelict ships and abandoned outposts. There's some that say they make the derelicts and encourage folks to abandon their steads. Sublight gives me the creeps. I've known folks who went to work for them and just vanished. They're on the promenade run by a woman named Lilia Hagen. I'm only telling you so you know to avoid them. All right. He's friendly enough unless you speak ill of the Board. Get the sense he doesn't care for Groundbreaker much. Not that he would, being a Board man and all. He's our liaison. Really likes his cereals, too. Maybe a little too much. Bit of a weird bird, all told.
Don't see what's so wrong about liking cereals. They're fun.
Udam takes it to an, unhealthy level. You noticed, huh? They can't abide an independent township, especially not one they gotta depend on. We're the first and last stop out of this colony. All their interstellar freighters come through us, and we skim a few bits off the top in manifest processing fees with every one. Folks around here will bluster that the Board hates our freedom, but really, they know we can stop their out-system shipments anytime we like, and that terrifies them. You sure you didn't just step off one of the interstellar freighters? There's no working with the Board. They don't share, not bits, people, or resources. You work for them, or you don't work at all. groundbreaker cooperating now would be tantamount to joining their ranks, and we sure as shit ain't about to do that. It's a delicate balance, right? We could cancel their freighters' docking privileges in retaliation, but where'd that lead us? They got assault cruisers, gunships, and a handful of mining operations at their fingertips. We push them too hard, maybe they decide we'd be better in 10 trillion little pieces. Or they cobble together a new groundbreaker and put us out of business.
The board wouldn't do that. Would they?
The board is necessary to provide order to the colony. They believe it's their prerogative to overrun you. But whether you allow that is up to you.
It's a tough line to walk, no doubt about that. But we make do all right. So far, anyway. Sure thing.
Da, haben wir alle
Be
Infos.
seeing you.
Gut. Dann sind wir auch schon wieder am Ende der Folge. Ja, dann machen wir beim nächsten Mal weiter. Ich danke euch fürs Zuschauen. Wenn es euch gefallen hat, lasst mir doch ein Like und ein Abo da. Schreibt mir was Nettes in die Kommentare. Und dann sehen wir uns zur nächsten Folge wieder bei The Outer Worlds. Tschüss.